Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. As mentioned at the end of episode one with Mr. Rylas Dana, we are going to talk about end of year planning. Rylas, can you believe it's like 3.5 months away?
I know it's crazy. This year is just flying by. Yet again, I saw Halloween stores are up.
Oh my God. I have not seen that yet, but it would not shock me that, oh my God, Christmas is going to be up in a minute, right? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Hey, so one of the things I thought we should talk about, at least plant in people's minds, is earlier in the year, we were talking about rising taxes, capital gains, 1031, all of these kind of real estate potential changes going into effect. There was some talk about them being retroactive. I think that's now over. Now there's talk about going into effect January. And I think a lot of that will come out of what's called the budget reconciliation as the Democrats look to push through the next $3.5 trillion in spending. And, frankly, Rylas, we don't know what's coming, but I can tell you with pretty good certainty, higher taxes are coming because that's how the budget reconciliation process works. If you want to spend, you've got to get the money from somewhere, and that means higher taxes. So we got some higher taxes coming. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds right. I was asking you before we went on, like, hey, do you have any updates? Because I like that you watch all this pending stuff. And it's nice to have it, kind of on the radar if it's pending.
Yeah.
And then I really start to pay attention once it's approved and actually passed. But once it's, pending stuff, I'm looking to see, certain opportunities.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the question. Do you think that's the question I've been asking clients? Do you think taxes are going up or down in this next few years? What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, there's two things, right? There's Rylas, the estate attorney, and then there's Rylas, the real estate investor. I think I would be, if I was a wholesaler doing direct mail or texting, I think that would be line number one of any messaging right now, right? If I was going to out of town owners and things of that nature, I would be saying, hey, what do you think? Do you think taxes go up or down from here? Because I don't think there's any questions that they go up. And also, I don't think there's any question that real estate becomes a target. There's clearly talk track in the government that real estate's got a lot of benefits, and they want to take them back. They want to squeeze real estate, and that could mean elimination of the 1031, or maybe it's a ladder. There's talk about 500K being a threshold, so basically it squeezes out the big boys. There will be ramifications from all of this, but yeah, taxes are going up, and that would be all my messaging to owners, right? If you bought back in the 80s and 90s, hey, do you want to sell now where cap gains is, 20%, or do you want to sell where if you're in a high tax state, total could be over 50? We're talking 53% in California. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, the conversation that I have both as an attorney to clients, and then also it's, what I'm doing in my investor world.
Yeah.
But when I see clients that are holding rental properties that are in their, mid, late 70s, and the question is, what do you want to do with this? Do your kids have any interest in running this business, or is it time to cash out?
Yeah. It's funny you bring that up, because as I'm going through this book, I've talked about creating one of the guests in there is actually on the end of this journey, right? A lot of people in there are kind of, in their 40s and 50s, but there's one guest that's been in the business 31 years, and she's unwinding her portfolio. And one of her lines in the interview is, I don't remember it exactly, but basically, I've never seen a landlord over 75 do a good job. Right. So if you're getting close to that and your kids don't want it, or you don't want to give, it's time to get out. And if there's ever been a time where you don't want to pay taxes and all those other threats, this could be the 3.5 months to do it for sure.
Yeah. So I had, a scenario lately. It's probably not that book. Maybe you can't see it, but I keep it in there so I remember to work on it. This guy has a bunch of assisted living homes, and he's 78, and that's the exact scenario. Do your kids have any interest in this? He's like, not really. And I guess it was hard on them through COVID because they couldn't put people back into the homes.
Oh,
so
wow.
They're not at the capacity that they once were.
Yeah.
That's interesting, the line about no good landlord over 75. So
yeah, and she's done seller financing. She's doing a little bit of hard money lending, and again, it'll come out. I'm editing it now, so maybe in another 4 to 6 weeks. But yeah, it's I had to get that story in there because, again, we talk a lot about starting and building and managing, but at some point you got to unwind. it's interesting to think about. So taxes were a big thing for her, right? So she does a lot of seller financing and things of that nature to get out.
Yeah, so even if you think taxes are going up, if you want a cash sell or something like that, you're probably going to take less, right? You're
Oh, for
probably going to
sure.
have to take less to get a cash sell versus seller financing.
Yep.
And then with a long enough note on seller financing, taxes will go up, down, up again, back down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you really can structure the notes to be beneficial. That's the beauty of the scaling tax system. You can keep they're called installment loans. And again, this is all in my course, How to Get Started One Rental at a Time. I had a CPA break it down for you. But yeah, it's the time. I would definitely message taxes are going up. Can I help you? Right? Seller financing would be the great example.
Yeah, yeah. And then on the investor side, it looks like that's starting to happen a little bit in the market.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen just in the last 30 days, there's clearly a couple of landlords that are like, I'm done. Right? They're like, take them. And again, if you're selling a property today tenant occupied, you're taking a discount. And they don't care, right? They bought these potentially in the 70s and 80s. So right, their cost basis is literally zero. And they're like, I'm out, I'm done. I can't trust the government. They're wacky. And they want cash, right? Because the answer is I could pay more seller financing, but they're like, no, I've got 10, 15, 20 years left to live. I'm going to party. I'm like, okay, well, let's talk.
Yeah, and then the cash, this year, if you take it in 2021, where we know the capital gain rates.
Yeah, no surprises, right? Yep. Yeah. Very interesting times. Again, I can't believe it's almost tax time again. I can't believe Halloween stores are up. It feels like I do not want to see a Christmas tree up. That's too much.
Yeah, yeah. So what do you think timing is on that budget act? Will we know
So
any news before the end of the year? Or
I would suspect to know something, at least framework wise, what is in it in the next 4 weeks. Right. Yeah, they're going to have to, again, a budget reconciliation process is how the next 3.5 trillion will get spent or approved. In order to do that, they have to put a framework for how they're going to pay for it. It has to be net zero, and higher taxes are coming. So I would expect something in the next 3 to 4 weeks.
yeah, it sounds good. So I'll be listening for sure.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much for your time today. How can people reach out to you if they have questions about estate planning in Arizona or California?
So my website is danalegalhelp.com. They can reach out there, give us a call. We can help you with probate, administering a trust, and setting up your own plan.
Very cool, buddy. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Okay.
Thank you.